manual, you'll be able to drive manual, and you'd also be able to, learn automatic easily. Isn't it? You can go from manual to automatic. Not that you will automatically know how to drive automatic, but it will be easier for you to learn automatic if you know manual. But if you learn with automatic, what will they tell you? They'll tell you to be harder for you to learn manual, because you're already used to the cool lights and all. So it is harder for you to switch to manual. Okay, so it's something very similar here. All right, so PostgreSQL has more like a general SQL dialect, an SQL dialect that is more common. Okay, and makes it easier for you to switch. You need to switch. All right. So while many SQL dialects share similar concept and syntax, so while many SQL dialects share similar concept and syntax, there are some differences between PostgreSQL and other dialects such as MySQL or Oracle. Okay, so just some basic differences. Okay, so they share similar concept and syntax. Syntax is the idea, okay, the general form of writing. So the statement is what will be different. Okay, so for example, PostgreSQL make use of I like instead of like for case insensitive pattern matching. We'll look at like and I like. I think I mentioned it here. Let me show you. You see this, the like operator. The like operator, I mentioned it here. So we'll look at that like and I like in when we get to working with it in PostgreSQL. Okay, so it makes use of I like instead of like for case insensitive pattern matching, and it has a more permissive license model compared to Oracle. Additionally, its extensibility and support for custom data types sets it apart from other SQL dialects. Now, I have a table. Okay, sorry. I have a table here that kind of summarizes some differences between the something like top 3. Okay. Now, PostgreSQL makes use of double quotes to identify column and table names. So remove that idea from your head now. Now that you are going into what is it called? SQL. Okay, in Excel and Power BI, if you want to denote, maybe you're writing a function and you want to put something as a text, you put it in double quotes, isn't it? Here, if you want to write something as a text, okay, you put it in single quotes. Single quotes for text. But if you make use of double quotes, you are simply saying that is a column name or a table name. Okay, so like I said, you need this table. Hey, Jesus Christ. See someone saying you need the table. And I've sent this file since afternoon. So like I said, it is a database, not an application for analyzing data. Okay, so there are 2 different applications. Here, you are not even going to be doing anything on visualization. Remove that idea. Nothing on visualization at all. Okay, nothing on visualization. All right, so now, PostgreSQL makes use of double quotes to identify column and table names. MySQL, if it wants to identify column and table names, it makes use of backticks. Now, which one is better between the PostgreSQL and MySQL? Before you start looking for backtick, how many of you know what backtick is and where key is on your keyboard? But you are more familiar with double quotes. You know where double quotes is on your keyboard. Okay? MS SQL, Microsoft SQL Server, use square brackets to identify column and table names. You see Microsoft, I like the consistency in their tools. But if only they were as popular as PostgreSQL. Okay, you remember in Power BI as well. If Power BI wants to denote a column name, it will put it in square brackets. You see, are you seeing something similar here? I should have asked you where have you seen something similar before I gave you that answer. So you see, Microsoft SQL Server, MS SQL will make use of square brackets. So it will put the name in square brackets. Okay. Now, for PostgreSQL, it makes use of I like for case insensitive string comparison. So meaning I want to compare strings, but I don't want it to be case sensitive. I can use I like. So meaning whether it is small letters or capital letters, just compare it. If the letters are the same, good. But my SQL we use like for case sensitive comparison. It is case sensitive. So if it is capital letter on one side, it must be capital letter on the other side. I like is not supported here. You see that? You can see another thing. For Microsoft SQL Server, it uses just like, both for case sensitive and case insensitive. You see that? For PostgreSQL, you use limit to limit the number of rows returned by a query. For MySQL, you use limit as well. For something different, you put the number of rows in a bracket. Here, you don't need to put the number of rows in a bracket in PostgreSQL. For MS SQL, you will use top. Select the top number of rows. Okay, it will also work like limit, but here the top will come after the select statement. Here the limit will come after your select statement or even after some other statements. So for PostgreSQL, Boolean is a supported data type. So Boolean is true or false, simply true or false. So they're having true, false, true, false, true, false in a column. It's most likely a Boolean data type column. All right. Then MySQL, it also has Boolean data type, similar. But for MS SQL, okay, instead of calling it Boolean, it calls it bits, B-I-T. Okay, so some specific functions. Okay, so this one is advanced. What's it called? You don't have to go into all of that. Okay, so that is the overview of databases, national databases, PostgreSQL, pgadmin, the advantages and the differences between the SQL dialects. All right. So this brings us to the end of the first section. We are meant to have recap and questions, but let's shift that to 8:45. So let's use the next 15 minutes to get familiar with our PG admin. Okay, I think we can start this one in the next class. So let's get familiar with our PG admin first. All right. So just you're not going to be touching many things in the PG admin. It's just few things here you'll be touching. So let me show us that in the next 15 minutes. Then I'll share the attendance link while I take questions. All right. So let's do that. So how do you open your PG admin? Start button. Scroll to where you stored your PostgreSQL. See that PostgreSQL. So if your own is 14 or 15 or 16, just open the PG admin folder is there. Okay, so yeah. Yes, for easy access, you can pin yours on the task bar. You can pin it so that your own will appear like my own, like this at the bottom. How can you do that? Let me show you. Start button, scroll to your PostgreSQL folder, expand, then you right click where you have feature admin for, right click, and then come to more and pin to taskbar. So once you click this, it's automatically pinned to your taskbar. Okay. So I don't have to go there to open. I just double click from here. So it's asking for my password. So I make use of the old version, Charles. It doesn't ask me to save password. For many of you now, you don't have to put your password again because you already saved your password. Isn't it? So, but me, I don't think I can. So I just put my password. All right. So once you open your PG admin, okay, please don't pay attention to the screen that it opens to. For some of you, it will open like this on the dashboard page, showing something like this. Okay? For some of you, it might open this page. For some of you, it might open this page. For some of you, it might open this page. Okay? But most times, it is this page that will open. What you have concern with is the left pane. Okay? So on the left pane, where you have servers, click on it. This arrow. Okay? Click on the arrow to expand it. Once you expand it, it will open the server that you have. I have PostgreSQL 14 installed. Okay, I have PostgreSQL 14 installed. Now, in my server, remember we said PostgreSQL is a relational database management system, a relational database, isn't it? So, under my PostgreSQL 14 server, I have various databases. You can see my database says 10. Okay, and all the databases are PostgreSQL databases. So if I expand databases, I see the databases I have there. Okay, you still don't have business with all of this because you're not running a live database. You're only using this to learn. So you are using it to learn querying database. All right. So I have 10 database. You would have at most just 2 or probably 3. I don't know what else you've done. Okay. So these are other work. So the work are the one I'm using for tutoring is the DVD rental database. Okay. Now I'm going to expand DVD rental. I'm showing you how to access your database now. Okay, remember we've not seen any data. Okay, and recall I told you for your database, you cannot just interact with the data, just open it like you're opening Excel. No, I'll show you how to access it. Now, if I expand DVD rental, you see what it opens up. Let me show you the next thing it opens up. So when I expand DVD rental, this is what it opens up. Mr. Tio, please turn off your video. Thank you. So as I was saying, when I expand DVD rental, you see what it opens up. I promise you, you don't have any business with all this again. Okay? Just maintain focus. Go on to schemas. Okay? Now, you've seen a schema. You've seen a schema before. The conceptual data model. You in what is it called? In Power BI, on the model view, the way the table shows with the relationship, okay, it's like an ARM diagram. Okay, it shows you how your tables are connected, are related. Okay, so when I expand schemas, okay, the schema I have here is public. I have just one schema. Just one schema. Okay, which is public. So in a database, you can have more than one schemas. All right, but don't bother about that. Expand public. Now, in another case, if I give you data to work on, the schema that you will have there might not be public, might not be only public. Okay, let me see which database I can show you. I think Northwind. Let me show you so that you would see that it is not every time it will be public. Let me see. Okay, Northwind is public as well. Let me check. That is by now. All right. So you can see for this database I have here, Danny's Diner. I don't want to open it up. Okay. I have two schemas, public and Danny's Diner. The main data is on Danny's Diner. Okay. So just to show you that you can have more than one schema, because most times the data you'll be working with, you just have one. Okay. So now back to our DVD rental. So I will expand my public. If it's already expanded, no problem. You show something like this. Okay. Now I'm going to tables. My tables, now this tables is the table on the DVD rental database. So in this database, I have 15 tables. If I expand the tables, I can see all the table names. Okay, so schema is like an overview of how your tables act in a database. So the functions on the table, the relationship between the tables, the triggers and things like that. Okay, are all embedded in the schema. So just like features of your database, of the tables in that database. Okay, so now I have 15 tables: actor table, address table, category, city, country, customer, film actor. When we're working in Power BI, we probably just work with like one or two tables. In Excel, maybe like one or two sheets where you use VLOOKUP. Here, you're dealing with 15 tables. Okay, normally we would have just trained you with probably one or two tables, but we are just looking at, okay, so in a real life approach, databases, you have more than 2-3 tables, definitely. Okay, that's why we have this here. So now look at something. If I expand actor, please let's listen. Okay, I am not saying this is how you get your data, that you have to expand the table first, expand the code. I'm not saying that. I want to explain something now, because some people, they just keep on following steps. They don't listen to what I'm saying. An example is the video I did. I did all the, what's it called? Step, all the correction to the error and everything. Some people were still asking how to treat a particular error. I already explained. So just pay attention to what I'm saying. Now, I cannot see the data yet on this table. If I expand actor, let's say you expand actor, what can we see under actor? Actor is giving us columns, constraints, indexes. What's all this? Okay, let's see the columns. Let's say you expand column. Tells you there are 4 columns. Actor ID, first name, last name. And I'm like, what I want to see is the data. Why is the database doing like this? Okay. You now say, okay, let me try clicking the first name. You click it. Nothing happens. What's happening? Okay, let me double click columns. You double click columns. Nothing happens. Okay, let me double click a particular column name. You double click a column name. Nothing happens. How will I now access this data? Good. So double clicking is not what opens your database, not what brings out the data. Remember I said that the database only understands one language. if I want to say, okay, give me the data on the actor table, show it to me in a table format on this screen, I need to write SQL, structured query language. So this is how you do it. Now, after you might have expanded all of this DVD rental all the way to tables, and you have your tables like this. Now, just right-click tables. On these tables, right-click tables and click Query Tool. Query Tool. When you click Query Tool, it will open up a blank page for you. Okay, the blank page is the tool that you will use to write your SQL. You see this blank page? This is where I will write my SQL. Okay, all the training we are going to be doing, I will use this file. Okay, because I'm going to save it and we'll open it in the next class. So I'm going to call this, I'm going to start with giving a comment first, and I'll call this January data analysis cohort. So this is a comment. I'm using a comment. A comment does not run. When you are running the code, a comment does not run. Okay, so I use 2 hyphen to start it. Okay, just 2 hyphen to start the comment. That's all. Then when I move to the next line, I can now start giving my query. So it doesn't matter how many lines I give after, just write a chunk of query together. So if I want to see the data on actor table now, this is what I will do. Introduction. So let's just type just one statement. Okay, basic PostgreSQL command, retrieving data with select. So let me just show you how to use the select keyword. So you will start like this. Select the column name you want to get from the table, or you use asterisk star to select all the columns. Okay, so if I use star, I can say, so select, star is to select all columns. So I'm selecting all the columns from which table? The actor table. So select column name. You can either specify the column name, the specific column name you want to get, or use asterisk to say every column from, and then you need to put the name of the table. So what's the name of the table? Actor. Then I would highlight this particular query I want to run, which is this group, and I will click play up here. So when it executes, it runs, and it's complete, it gives me the data in that table. Do you now see my data down below here? So I have my actor ID, first name, last update. And you can see the data types, integer, PK for primary key or unique key column, character variant 45, meaning the characters in this column should not be more than 45. So in each cell, should not have more than 45 letters, characters. Last name, last update, timestamp without time zone. You see that? So this is what you'll be writing. So if you want to get a particular set of data or another set of data, there is different ways to how you'll be writing the SQL statements to retrieve your data. Okay, so what if I have this SQL statement now? I've retrieved my data. I can only see it here. If I want to now download this data and work with it in Excel file, I can simply click this download icon here and save it. If I click save, it will ask me where do you want to save, and I will save it wherever I want to save it. It will save as a CSV file. Okay, let's say I save it to desktop, and I click save. Okay, now I have used SQL to extract the data from the table, and I've saved it as a CSV file. Now I can go to Excel and open it, and this is the data I saved. If I open it now, it can open in Excel. and the same data will appear. You see the data, actor ID, first name, last updates. Okay, but is this how we are going to be working? Are we going to be extracting the data, downloading to work in Excel? No. So we'll be seeing how to answer some basic analysis question using SQL statements as well. Oh, what is the sum of sales by this? What is the sum of salary by this? What is the this by this? What is that by that? All right. So now, if you go ahead and close your PostgreSQL, your PG admin, what you've written here will not save. Even this table, the table does not usually save and remain there. No. The only thing you can save are the code that you have written so far, so that when next you open it, you can run the code again and it will give you the output. So how do you save your code that you have written so far? You click this save icon up here. Click save file. I'm going to give it the name Primary Data Analysis Cohorts. Now save it to my desktop. Now click save. So this file has been saved. Okay, so in the next class, when I want to open it, what I will simply do is what? I will first right click, open query 2. When it opens a query 2, it will open a blank query 2. It will be blank like this. First. It will be blank like this first. If I now want to open the code I've written so far, I will just click on this icon. Open file. Are you sure you want to discard? Yes. I will now go to where I saved it. January data analysis. Click on it. And I will click open. When I open it, it will give me my code I've written so far. And that is how it is being done. Okay, so once you successfully save, you can close your PG admin simply, and you are done with it. All right, this is where I'm going to end tonight's class. The attendance, let me send the attendance quickly. If we have any questions, please. If you have any questions, I'll take them now. But I hope you found tonight's class much insightful. All right, so for data cleaning, it is mostly the data engineers that are injecting data into database that does the cleaning. You as an analyst, you don't want to tamper with data that is being stored on a database, isn't it? But yes, there are functions that they use. At least I'm aware of that. Okay, so the attendance link, let me send that now. So please fill your attendance. Someone said it's complicated. We did not even write anything, just one line of code, and it's already complicated. You can't survive data analysis though. Like you find something else to do. I don't like this type of energy in my class. What's your name? I don't guess it. Who is the other person that said Wahala? Let me take note of your names. Because if you are starting with this kind of energy for the first class, when we have not written more than 1 line or 2 lines of SQL code, and you're already telling me it is complicated, and you're telling me Wahala, I think I should note those people. So how can you make use of the 3 together? Yeah, so there's procedure of connecting Power BI. You don't, well, you don't always have to make use of the 3 together now. Just know how to use each one of them. It's not every time you make use of 3 together, but there are cases where you make use of Power BI and SQL. If you have your data in your database, you don't want to download as an Excel file, you can just connect. You can connect directly from Power BI to SQL straight up and things like that. So please fill in your attendance. Does SQL have any relationship with R programming? No. R programming is a statistical programming language. It's a programming language that is a favorite for statisticians. Okay, because of its wide statistical capacity. Okay. We said there is no visualization. How are we going to give a report of our research? So you need to connect to a visualization tool. So most of the reports you are giving is simply table-based. Okay. If you want to generate a report based on data that you have in a database, you have to connect it to a visualization tool. Or download the file as an Excel file and then visualize using Excel or Power BI. But you need to know how to write the code. You need to know how to write the code that will get you that data. That is my concern. That is my, that is what I have been tasked with teaching you. How do you write the code to get that data? That data you want to use, maybe that data you want to download or whatever. How you get that data is my concern. All right. So please fill your attendance. I hope everyone has filled attendance. Please, when are we going to know when to use either SQL, Power BI, or Excel? It depends on where your data is and what you want to do. Okay? You will definitely know. There's no way you would not know. If they give you data in Excel file and they say you should analyze it, what will you do? You either analyze using Excel or Power BI. Your data is in a database and they say you should get some information. What will you do? You write SQL. So there's no confusion about it. There's no confusion about it at all. So please, your attendance, put in your attendance, sign your attendance. We often hear NoSQL. Is it a type of database as well? A simple Google search would answer some of these questions. Okay, so it means you have not, you only hear, you did not bother searching. If you have searched, what's it called, that is verified. So I encourage Google searching. So please fill in your attendance. When are you sending the Power BI project? Can you imagine? The Power BI project has already been sent. Is SQL the same as Tableau? I don't even know what to say now. Just like asking, is SQL the same as Power BI? With everything I said today, does it look anything like Power BI? The SQL is not the same as Power BI. Okay. Can we also create a new table apart from fetching data from SQL? Yes. Okay. It's a database, so definitely there are ways to create tables. All right. There are ways to do so. There are ways what's it called? The engineers create. They are creating a database. There are queries, there are statements that they write to create the database or to create the tables. Okay, yes, they do it. Yes. I mean, if the table, if they don't create the table, how will you see it? Okay. If the table is not created, how will you, as the analyst, how will you see it to make use of the data on it? Okay. So, T. Ario, I've filled your attendance for you. I should teach you, hope you are learning all. So I should teach you both data engineering and data analysis as well. Is that what I should teach data engineering and teach data analysis too? You did not answer the question now. Can we as analysts also create new tables? As an analyst, you hardly modify, creating new table is modifying the database. Okay, you need to define what is the role of an analyst. What is the role of an analyst? Okay, if I tell you to define data analysis, you tell me, what is it called? Analyzing data, generating information from it, blah, 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 to do this, to do that, to do this, to do that. Isn't it? That is the role of the analyst. Isn't it? So, why do you want to modify the company's database as an analyst? Okay. But then, yes, if you go ahead and decide to learn that, well, it could be an added advantage for you. Yeah, it could be an added advantage for you. Then you are going into data engineering. All right. So you probably will be able to function in more capacity, meaning more work, and it could mean more salary as well. I don't know. Okay. But my task is to teach you how to query and extract this information from the database. All right. So yeah, there are some analysts that definitely also know how to. And people that are called analytics engineer. Okay, analytics engineers, you can look that up. So yeah, so there are some analysts that would also know how to make use of SQL for all of that. All right. We have any other questions? Can we merge tables in SQL? So that's when we'll be looking at joins. Okay, that's when we'll be looking at joins. Anthony Binidion. You have a question.
Good evening, sir. Yes, sir.
Good evening. Please,
it's not good evening.
Yes.
Okay. So what I just wanted to say is that earlier this afternoon you were trying to put some of us through for those who are unable to be able to download successfully the PostgreSQL. So I don't know, though I was very busy where I am and my laptop was not with me. But I don't know, everything. When I watch the video, I've done everything. and he showed me that after signing up that is now I use 16, so it enter. But if I'm uploading the restoring the DVD renter, it will now say no. Why it's saying like that? Sorry to draw you back.
So when you restore the database and it's telling you there's an error, what did you now do?
What I did, I deleted the file. Then I reload it again. So because you taught us that we should go to the bin and then you call again. I deleted the DVD renter and download it again and do the same thing all over again.